Good day and welcome back to Politics Central. Today I want to chat about something that I've been studying for a few years now. So anyone who's been following the Politics Central blog or some of our previous videos will know that I consider myself to be a Van Tilian. And being a Van Tilian is essentially it comes with a particular philosophy, right? A particular way that you view the world you're living in, that you view yourself. And we as Van Tilians would consider a Van Tilian philosophy to be the proper Christian philosophy or a Calvinist philosophy, right? Van Tilianism is considered to be Christianity come to its own. And today I want to share a very brief insight that I think has taken me a while to condense to this simple format of presenting it. So it has to do with a Christian epistemology, a Christian metaphysic, which is essentially the study of knowledge and the study of reality. And I want to show how these things interconnect and how they influence the way that we think and how it ultimately influences what we would perceive to be evidence for the existence of God. So let me bring up my screen. All right. So what we've got here is a very simple representation of what Van Tilians would consider a non-Christian worldview. Okay, so the blue or the dark blue circle that you see is an illustration of reality. So the sum total of everything that is. Um, so you'd immediately think of the universe, planets, even beyond that, some abstract things like numbers, whatever exists. And a non-Christian view would entail that God might be one of these lesser facts, so all of the smaller circles are facts in themselves. So it might indicate the existence of you, the existence of God, who knows? Whatever facts you can think of, these individual blobs are these facts. Okay. Now, to know something, to really claim knowledge about a particular fact, means that you can systemize it. You know a fact in relation to other facts, right? So imagine you go to the Kruger National Park and you see an impala. And you see many impalas, right? So you know a particular impala because you can relate it to other impalas, and you then group them into the class of impala. And furthermore, you know that the impala is existing today, which is a point in time on the planet Earth in the Milky Way. You know that it exists in the Kruger National Park. You further know more things about the impala, like it has fur, it is brown, it eats grass. So all of this is systemized facts into a single view of reality, right? And every person, as they engage with the world around them, they build up this system of knowledge from almost nothing to amazing interconnectedness and knowledge in the mind of perhaps a more elderly person. Okay. Now, if you've ever considered this, so yeah, we've seen the picture of reality now, and we discussed the individual facts, and then this circle to the right hand side indicates the system that you build up, right? Some key terminology that we can also explain here is abstract particular and brute facts. So an abstract particular or a brute fact is a fact divorced from a system. And each of these facts that you are seeing in front of you is divorced from a system because fundamentally, in the non-Christian worldview, facts as such are not what they are or mean what they mean because God created them, right? Because the non-Christian worldview is the denial of God's decree and the denial of the Christian God's existence and control. So that means the facts that we encounter are not intended facts. They are brute facts, and they originate by some principle of chance. Okay. Now, if this is the case, then it implies that when I, as an individual observer, encounter these facts in reality, the system that I build will invariably differ from the system that anyone else builds. And an issue arises because these facts are brute facts and abstract particulars. It means that by nature they perhaps cannot be systemized, right? Because if you try to systemize them, it must involve them in some way or another shedding their details that make them particular facts. And yeah, that picture of reality will just invariably devolve into some extreme form of subjectivism or skepticism. Because there is no objective system that brings the facts together, and because ultimately they cannot be systemized, it means that ultimately they cannot be known. And if they cannot be known, then it means the non-Christian cannot know anything at all. Some might try to explain a non-Christian view of reality as perhaps not making the facts as such ultimate, but they might try to make some principle of oneness ultimate, like the circle here. So they say that rather than starting with the facts, there is actually a system underlying reality. But if that's the case, and ultimate reality is fundamentally one, then you cannot explain the multiplicity of our experiences. And then, as the ancient Heraclitus did, you ultimately have to explain the reality, Parmenides, you ultimately have to explain the reality that you're experiencing away as an illusion. And the result is still some kind of skepticism or subjectivism. So it would seem that a non-Christian view of reality just cannot ground knowledge. If the Christian God does not exist, then fundamentally you cannot know anything. But that's not our experience, right? Our experience is that we can know things. We can classify stuff and we can build up systems, and there are remarkable similarities between the systems that we build, and we can test them. So something is going on here. So let's quickly move on with the slides here. So yeah, the non-Christian system, to summarize, all the facts are brute facts, and they are divorced from a system, and as such they cannot be known. Or there is no differentiation, and reality as we experience it is an illusion. The result, either way, is subjectivism or skepticism. So then how does the Christian worldview offer a solution for this conundrum? And this is where the diagram that Cornelius Van Til used to draw on his classroom boards, as you can see to the left-hand side here, really becomes useful. So the Christian fundamentally doesn't believe in a single-tiered reality. The Christian believes in a two-tiered reality. God as the absolute and original creator, an absolute and very important creator-creature distinction, and creation. So a two-tiered reality. And important for the Christian worldview also is that God exists as a trinity. So God, who is one essence, exists as three co-eternal, co-equal persons. So within the Godhead there is an eternal one and many, multiplicity and oneness in the Trinity. Alright. So then this God, the Trinity, creates. And then creation, according to the Christian worldview, looks something like this. So here again, we have our individual facts, which are our colored circles, and they are immediately connected within a system. And the reason that the Christian, in particular the Reformed Christian, can say this is because there is no element of chance at work in creation. So every fact that we encounter, when we encounter it, where we encounter it, is what it is because of God's decree, because of creation. So when God created, as within the Godhead, the one and the many are equally ultimate, the one God is the Trinity, so in creation, the facts and the system are equally ultimate. The facts don't and never have existed apart from the system, and the system has never existed apart from the facts. We read something of this in the creation account of Genesis 1 and 2. So what this means is, as a Christian, if this is the worldview that underlie reality, it means that every fact that I encounter is not a brute fact, but it is eternally related in the system of facts as intended by God, right? So, just then as there is a distinction in metaphysics or reality between God and creation, so in epistemology there is a distinction. Because as creatures, we can never comprehend this entire system that God created, even on a creaturely scale, because we aren't God, right? We can never even comprehend God, and creation is ultimately rooted in the natural knowledge of God, or in the being of God, because God wasn't inspired by something to create. So everything that we encounter is grounded within God himself. So what that means is we can never comprehend the system completely. We can only see in part. And for the Christian, again, this isn't a problem, because we can build up a systematic knowledge that is true as far as it goes, because even when we have little knowledge, even that context is itself controlled by God. And the Spirit guides us and teaches us into more and more truth so that we grow in truth. So the Christian can look at a particular fact and start building his own system and have full confidence that the facts that he is comprehending now, as far as it goes, will at least cohere with all the subsequent facts that he might encounter, so that there is no skepticism that results, because there is an original view of the system in the Godhead. And that's how there is a fundamental difference between the Christian view of reality, the non-Christian view of reality, and how it has severe implications on epistemology. So what this picture also means is that all facts are God's facts. There is no fact that we can encounter that can frustrate the purposes of God or God's intended design for those facts. And this is the particular area where the debate should focus. So whenever someone calls for the evidence of God's existence, it means that they want you as a Christian to actually present them with brute facts to then... Oh, I see the screen isn't updating actually. Yeah, oh, that's unfortunate. But yeah, it just means that they want you to present brute facts to convince them that God might exist. But according to the Christian system, the existence of God is fundamental to making the facts intelligible in the first place. And that is why, as Van Tilians, we encourage Christians to use a transcendental argument for the existence of God, which is to say that if God does not exist, then you cannot make sense of reality to begin with. So the existence of God is the foundational fact that gives all other facts meaning. Let me see if I can refresh this. No, I can't. But yeah, so then to know a fact is to know it as it is related to God's eternal plan. If you believe that you know a fact, but you don't know it as God's fact, then you indeed don't know the fact at all. And then it means you believe it's a brute fact, which is denying the very basic element of that fact, which is that it is what it is, as intended by God and His eternal plan. So here's the dichotomy for you. Either a fact is an intended fact, or it is a brute fact. Either a fact has purpose, or it is there by chance. And if it's there by chance, then it's unintelligible. Only intended facts or created facts are intelligible and can be systemized. And that is the argument for the Christian worldview. Thank you.